Hey, what's up? It's Tati. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. AEW Dynamite. Look, I've never felt overwhelmed yet underwhelmed at the same time watching AEW show. I just felt like, damn, y'all not giving us enough, but then y'all doing too much at the same time. We started off the show with the three pillars of AEW, Jack, Darby, and Sammy. They're going on about a 15-minute promo talking about why they should be the number one contender. And to be completely honest, it kind of felt like we already heard all this already. And for them to do this for 15 minutes, it was really disappointing. The only thing that I really agreed with that needed to be said was about Sammy Guevara being held back, being part of Jericho Appreciation Society. I think Sammy's really, really annoying. However, he's a very talented wrestler, and him and Daniel Garcia are definitely being held back. Perhaps Jake Hager as well, but we haven't seen that much of him lately. But the other two, Sammy and Daniel, are being held back with JS. I really feel like they need to remove themselves from that situation. Either way, that promo that they did was just really repetitive, and I didn't like it. Matter of fact, Darby seemed to be the one with the best skills out of the three on the mic. It seemed to be a little bit more natural for him compared to the other two. Then MJF comes out. You have somebody with a hat with all three of their names in it. So basically, whichever name he pulls out the hat does not have to face the other two first. So he pulls out Darby's name out the hat. So now we have Sammy versus Jack first, and then Darby will face whoever wins that, and then whoever wins Darby versus that winner will go against MJF at Double or Nothing. But if it was me booking it, I would do it differently. So the first 15 minutes felt like a waste of time. So if I was booking this, what I would have done was have them do a pre-recorded sit-down interview, preferably with JR, since he has a lot of experience with that. And it would be Jack, Sammy, and Darby. They're all stating their case as to why they should be the number one contender, and JR would be asking questions or whatever. And it wouldn't feel like it's just them three, because JR would be talking with them, you know? And then what I would do is, in the middle of them kind of getting a little hostile with each other during this interview, we would have MJF just break into the room, and he's letting them know that, hey, I'm not facing y'all in the Fatal 4-Way. It's only going to be one of you guys, and he can do either one of two things. Do what he did earlier, where he drew the name out the hat, and you know, they have to face each other in a series of matches before they come down to the number one contender. Or what I preferably would have been to do a triple threat match with all three of these guys. Whoever would have won that would go against MJF for a triple B at Double or Nothing. That's what I would have done. And after all that, everybody would be leaving the room, and then MJF would stay behind with Sammy, because later on in the show, he actually, you know, confronts Sammy and offer him money to win this match against Jack. So he could have did something like that, but behind our backs, where the audience would not know what's going on until a later time. That would have been what I would have done. However, Tony's not thinking out the box. I don't understand, like, 15 minutes of something that we've already seen, and it didn't really grab the audience. The audience was really quiet. This is just not a good way to start off the show. If you want to do something different to get the audience's attention and people at home, this whole thing should have been done completely different. Like I said, if I was booking it, I would have did a pre-recorded segment with them, you know, before the show, and that would have been put somewhere in the middle of the show. I think it would have been way better that way. Anyway, let's get into the first match of the night. First match of the night, we had Ruby Soho and Toni Storm versus Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter. Now they are in Pittsburgh, so that means Dr. Britt Baker is in her hometown. Everybody is wearing their DMD shirts and waving their little yellow flags and all that stuff. Great, woohoo. So it already kind of showed you who was going to end up winning this match. But either way, I kind of out of everything that they've done so far, this was probably the best thing that this group of girls have done. We've been seeing them every freaking week, and I'm sick of them. However, I really did like how Tony and Ruby performed as a tag team today. Now, we do still have Saraya ringside getting involved. I wasn't feeling that, but still, I did think that all that stuff was expected. So I just didn't let that bother me because the interference thing's just over the top for me at this point. However, I still feel like they performed really, really well. My biggest complaint here is that even though I felt like there was a great team, all four of these girls were in spots in this match where they kind of was just waiting for their opponent to do their moves, and I just feel like we've been seeing that a little bit too much lately. Everybody really needs to be in sync and let these moves flow naturally and not just stand there and wait for their opponents to do something. I actually did not mind this match, so at times I did enjoy it. We do have a part in this match where Saraya hits I want to say it was Britt with the women's championship. So she hits her, and then Toni Storm delivers a Storm Zero, and it almost felt like they were going to end up winning, but hey, we know better. Britt's in her hometown. She's going to obviously take the win. Britt kicks out of that, and I don't know. I like that spot because I think it was done really nicely. Now, after that, we do have Britt doing a Panama Sunrise onto Ruby Soho. I thought she was going to win with that, but we didn't get to see her do her usual finisher, so it didn't end that way. Either way, Jamie and Britt end up taking the win. Britt taking the win for her team. However, I think maybe Jamie had got hurt during that match. We didn't see her for a little bit, and it was pretty much Britt taking it for her team, and the doctors were walking out Jamie at the end, and instead of Britt kind of, you know, cheering with her hometown, she ends up leaving immediately to go to the back with Jamie. It wasn't a bad match. I actually liked the Outcast in this match. Didn't like the interference, but not bad. Next, we had a quick interview with Wardlow and Renee Paquette. Wardlow is basically saying he did have some guidance from a former horseman, which was Tully Blanchard. Remember, Tully Blanchard was with the Pinnacle, then Tully left, and now he's saying that he looking for new guidance with another horseman, which turned out to be Arn Anderson. So Arn Anderson is going to take Wardlow under his wing. I didn't mind that. However, when that was being said, I was kind of worried and thought, holy shit, Wardlow might just win the TNT title tonight. Next, we have the Elite. They're in the ring and basically inviting the BCC to come out so they can handle this like men. And to be honest, I really wasn't paying attention too much about what Kenny Omega was saying. He was looking so good that I just couldn't concentrate. But anyway, we have Bryan Danielson that come onto the jumbo screen, and he's, you know, talking or whatever, and that's when the rest of the BCC come and attack the Elite in the ring. So I'm like, I don't got no problem with that. They're pretty much doing a tit for tat, because last week that's exactly what the Elite did to BCC. So now they're fighting, and it's looking even on both sides. Sometimes you see, you know, it seems like the BCC had an upper hand, and sometimes it seems like the Elite had the upper hand. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm all right with this. And then at the end of it all, is the BCC in the ring with just Kenny Omega. Then Bryan Danielson comes out, and it looks like they're probably just gonna attack Kenny alone. And out of the blue, we have Don Callis coming out. He has a chair in his hand, and Bryan Danielson's like, bro, you don't want to come out here and get your head split up like last time. You need to go back to the back. So Don leaves, and he goes to the back, and just when we thought that we wasn't going to see him again, Uncle Don comes back out with Takeshita. Takeshita looked like he got snatched out of catering, and he don't know what the hell is going on. And Don is like telling him to go out there. And I'm like, wait, Takeshita of all people? To be honest, I thought it was going to be Hangman. The other day, I was watching the Elite YouTube show. I don't normally watch them, but I watched it the other day. And at the end of the video, it seemed like they were trying to do like a cryptic message where it would be something about Hangman coming back or whatever. So I kind of thought it would be him to come out and help the Elite. But instead, it was Takeshita. Takeshita looked like he don't know what the hell is going on. And Dawn is like, go out there and help them. And Takeshita actually goes out there and help them. And now we have an alliance with Takeshita and the Elite. It's not what I thought they were going with, but I did find it entertaining and it was a little fun. I didn't mind this moment at all. I'm so curious to see what they do with this, but I really thought they were going with Hangman for sure. Next, we had the TNT title on the line, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Wardlow. Let me just say this. So, right off the bat, I've always felt like QT being part of Hobbs, whatever, entourage or whatever, was the wrong way to go right off the bat. And I felt like this is not going to last long. And, I regret to inform you that that's the case, that it did not last long. So this match was not all that. We did have a lot of interference once again. Like, we don't need this in every match, Tony. Please stop with the interference. So there was interference or whatever with QT, TV, and friends or whatever. They kept getting involved. But I still didn't feel like Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs really had like a great match with each other. And like I said, the interference was a little bit too distracting for this. We also do have a little stare off with QT and Arn, and Penta comes out and helps or whatever. It was just a little bit weird for me. I think that they just wanted to do a little too much with this match. It should have just been a one-on-one thing with these two guys. And to my surprise, Wardlow ends up getting the title back after, 3 power bombs or something like that. And I was so disappointed. I didn't like this at all. Hobbs, he had potential of being a big thing for AEW. I just don't understand. Unless he's injured, there was no reason to take that title off of him. None at all. And there was no reason for them to take it off of Wardlow too. That's another thing. They've been doing hot potato with these titles. Okay, let me look here. On AEW website, they show you the history of every title, whatever. So since the beginning, let me tell you who's been champion. Starting off on the very first one. Cody, Brody Lee, Cody, Darby Allin, Miro, Sammy, Cody, Sammy, Scorpio Sky, Sammy, Scorpio Sky, Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Darby, Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow. What the fuck is that? What is that? There is no prestige to this title at all. I just don't understand what is going on. Like I said, unless Hobbs is injured right now and won't be able to complete in the long run, so that's why they took it off of him, there was no reason for them to do this. So now after this, Wardlow doesn't even get a chance to celebrate, because here comes Christian with Luchasaurus, and Luchasaurus just looks so good. The whole new look, the whole new mask, the whole new gear. It's beautiful. Love it. And I'm interested to see where that goes. However, I'm very disappointed with them taking the titles off of Powerhouse Hobbs. It was just, what the hell? Do you not have faith in your roster? That's one of the reasons why I stopped watching WWE, was because I felt like they did not have faith in their current roster. So, you know, that kind of left the show to not be as entertaining to me. And I don't want to feel like AEW is doing that too. AEW do have guys that's been in the business for God knows how long. And then they also got new and up-and-coming guys who are trying to make a name for themselves. Powerhouse Hobbs is one of those guys. He didn't get a chance to do anything with this title. And for whatever reason, this is a little bit reminiscent to me of Big E winning the title. And they did shit with him. And then he got injured and And look at him now. He's been out on the shelf for, what, over a year now? And they had opportunity to have used him when he was actually well and able to go in the ring. And now look at Hobbs. This is absolutely insane. This guy, he looks like a champion. Yes, I think he needed work, but he absolutely had potential. And he is the future of AEW. They dropped the ball on this. I'm not happy about it at all. Next, we have Jay White versus Commander. Now, this was a really great match. Even though these two guys have really different styles, I still feel like they both were able to shine in this match for what it is that they do. And they had really, really great chemistry. Really great first match for Jay White in AEW. But also, even though Commander did not win, I still feel like it was a really great way to showcase his abilities as well. Now, we do have Juice Robinson ringside. And then we have Shawn Spears, who's outside with the crowd. And he's holding up cards for basically rating certain moves in the matches or whatever. At first, I thought it was unnecessary, but to be honest, it was really, really entertaining and made me laugh, so I didn't mind that at all. Now, unfortunately, Commander does not win here. Like, to be honest, I think it was better for Jay White to take the win since this is his first match with AEW. But either way, they both look really great. Now, after the match, we do have Juice Robinson, who drags out Shawn from the audience. And now him and Jay are beating up on Shawn Spears. So then Ricky Starks come out and even the odds. So I'm pretty sure really, really soon, if not next week, we'll be able to see all four of these guys go together in a tag team match. I think that would be a really great match. Next, we have FTR going to do their little interview with Renee, but then Renee shows them a video of Mark Briscoe getting attacked by the Varsity Brothers and Slim J and them. And she tells him that he's being seen by the medical staff. FTR runs over to that room, and Jay Lethal and friends are already in there. So now Mark wants to go and attack his attackers, but the doctor says that he's not clear. So now he volunteers for FTR and for Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal to go against them. I think it's on Rampage. And I guess they don't really seem like they want to work together, but for Mark, they're going to put their differences aside and work together. Kind of felt a little random, but I don't know. They'll probably have a great match. Who knows? I'm not really sure what I think about this. Next, we had Chris Jericho confronting Adam Cole. Now, Adam Cole starts off saying really great things about Chris Jericho, how he idolized him and all that. Then Chris Jericho responds by saying he really don't even like Adam Cole and stuff. So then Adam Cole seemed to retract his nice comments about Chris Jericho. And then they end up getting into a scuffle. Now, at first I was like, he's probably not going to hit Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has an outfit full of like long ass spike looking needles just sticking out, and honestly I would like hate to get one of those just stuck up in my skin or whatever. So I just thought he was probably gonna, you know, just avoid confrontation, physical confrontation with him. But anyway, they end up getting into a scuffle. Then Daniel Garcia comes out and helps, and then out of the blue, Britt Baker comes out. And I'm like, wait, what? Why would she come out to stop this beatdown? You know, obviously as a girlfriend, you'll be concerned. You don't want your man to be getting hurt. Okay, I get it. But it's like, where's Adam Cole's friends, his male friends that could actually come out and do something to help? But then I remember they're in Pittsburgh. They're going to milk the whole thing with Britt Baker. So they have her come out. So now she's all, oh, leave him alone and all that stuff. And then out the blue, the Outcasts come out from under the ring and attack Britt. And the commentators are like, oh, it's a setup. They knew all along that Britt was going to come out. How the fuck they knew Britt was going to come out? It already seemed weird that she came out. So why would they think that they was going to do all this to Adam Cole and then Britt would obviously come out. I don't think that was obvious. If anything, they should have just came out from the back and then attacked Britt. That would have made way more sense. Now, they do end up handcuffing Adam Cole's arm onto the ring ropes, and they're beating on her. And then Chris Jericho was going to hit Adam with a kendo stick. He decides to give it to Saraya, and Saraya started beating Britt with it, and the crowd is obviously upset. Britt family is there. Adam Cole's family is there. They're watching them get a beat down. And the commentators are just talking about how much they love Britt and Adam Cole, and they don't deserve this. I was just like, whoa, what the hell? Now, honestly, I didn't mind this at all. I just felt like they should have had the girls come out from the back, because it just comes off like, yeah, we just planned this and go out there and do this. They should have just came from the back and not from under the ring. Doesn't make any sense at that point. But I do think that this whole story is interesting now that we see like in the lines with the Outcast and Jericho Appreciation Society. And I'd like to see where this go. And Adam Cole, where the hell are your friends? Where are they? Next, we had trios action with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Daddy Magic, Angela Parker, and Jake Hager. While the match wasn't bad, I kind of just didn't really care about this. The storyline is a little bit weird. If the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass wins this match, they do not have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. The only notable thing here was during Max Caster's rap, he does literally mentions how JAS needs to take Chris Jericho penis out of their mouths. Like, literally says that. For some people, they did block it. So if you're one of those people who didn't actually get to hear what he said, that's what he says in the match. That's what they bleeped out for like a whole 5 seconds or whatnot. The match wasn't bad, just over the whole storyline. I'm really glad that the Acclaim and Daddy Ass did not win. Oh, Daddy Ass is so over. Can you imagine the whole building is screaming out, "Scissor me daddy, we want daddy" chants? Like, what the hell? It's so weird, but it works. I'm really glad that Daddy Ass gets to enjoy the later part of his career with being so over with the crowd. But either way, I do feel like these guys did do their best to tell a story here. But I think people are over it. Definitely over it. They claim Daddy Ass takes the win. Next story with these guys, please. I'm just over this whole thing. Now is main event Jack Perry versus Sammy Guevara. Now, prior to the main event, we do have an alliance with Sammy Guevara and MJF. MJF hands him a blank check and says, hey, put your price on there so that you can, I'll help you basically win this match. I hate the fact that they had to say this. I really wish this would have came as a surprise, but it is what it is. So now we have a match between these two, and I do think that it was really energetic and competitive. They obviously have something to, both of them have something to prove with each other and to the crowd and obviously to MJF, and both of them wants to be #1 contender. So the match was going on pretty great. And because we already had that moment where MJF publicly, offers to give money to Sammy, we're just pretty much waiting to see what the hell is going to happen. So we have MJF watching the match backstage. We also have Darby watching the match as well. And oh my god, Darby's eyes are just so beautiful. But anyway, they're watching. So I think they did it this way so that no one could really think anything of MJF coming out. This is the first time we ever seen MJF watching any of their matches since they've been all going for the #1 contendership. So now we're towards the end of the match, and Jungle Boy gets on the top turnbuckle, and I'm not sure what move he was going to go for, but Sammy immediately kicks him off the top, and he ends up falling onto the timetable, the table with the timekeeper. He falls on there, and it looks like he takes a really nasty fall through that table. Now the ref is counting to 10. Sammy's waiting and waiting, and I think by the time he was getting to 8, I think, then we have Jungle Boy coming in the ring, and then boom, here comes MJF, grabs our boy Jack and hits him with the Dynamite diamond ring, that big ass ring on his pinky finger, and he runs back into the crowd. And while that's happening, Sammy had already grabbed the official and was distracting him. So now when the official turns back and sees that Jungle Boy's still on the ground, he continues to count from, I think, 8, and then he counts up to 10, and then that's it. Jack ends up losing the match. Then MJF comes into the ring and celebrate with Sammy, and I'm like, what the hell? If they didn't say anything about this would have been so cool. Like, if they did what I said earlier about, you know, they had like a pre-recorded interview thing, and at the end of that they show MJF pull Sammy aside, I think that would have been so much better if they did it that way rather than letting people know what was going to happen to begin with. Anyway, Darby was watching all that, so now Darby knows better next week to make sure that that doesn't happen with him against Sammy. So it's going to be interesting to see what MJF pulls out his sleeves for next week. If anything, I can see Darby taking that win, but in the end, I can see at Double or Nothing, it would be actually a fatal 4-way match with all these guys. Either way, Dynamite did have some good, did have some bad. I just wish it was so much better. Tony, give me a call if you need help with some booking. I don't have experience, but I've been watching wrestling for a long time, and the rookie mistakes that you're making is so obvious at this point. Anyway, guys, I'll be back tomorrow for my review for ROH. Bye.